What's up to all my cancers? So you have the Queen of Wands, the Hermit, and the the Queen of Pentacles. So I already did this video, but in essence, a lot of you Cancer crabs are in a position where a lot of you Cancer crabs are going to live your lives however it is that you want to, and you don't care about what other people's opinions are, because you're not asking people in order for you to exist or in order to live your life and enjoy yourself. So as a result, you Cancer crabs need to understand that this is what's going to create a lot of pushback, because this is a part of maturity, because a lot of times people have been regulated down to an infantile state, unfortunately, when they have this trendy mindset. And the reason why is because they're looking for validation from a lot of people in order for them to actually live their lives and continue to do the things that they want, instead of doing the things that they need to do, right? Actually minding their own business and handling their own business. But see, you got to understand that when you become evolved like that, Cancer crabs, this is going to inquire a lot of pushback. But the Queen of Wands is a queen that very much so admires pushback. The Queen of Pentacles is a person that is a queen that very much so wants to be left alone to concentrate on the things that, the queen wants to be concentrated on. But for you, other people want you to have the same thought process as them, and you Cancer crabs are going like a crab, going against the grains of the sand, right? Going against, because sometimes the sand will go a particular way, underneath the water. The sand will kind of, because just as it has sandstorms, above ocean, it has sandstorms below the water too, where a lot of the sand will end up, coming this way, right? Or against the crab, and the crab will have to make its way across all that sand, that's coming this way if the current is strong enough. So the thing about it is, what happens here is that the Two of Swords and the Nine of Pentacles now represents how, since this is the case, a lot of you Cancer crabs also need to take into consideration that guard yourselves. When you're getting to know people and people want you to only think of things their way, you need to know when it's a good idea for you to be flexible and when it's a good idea for you to leave these people alone, and to understand that these people are not really worth your time. You understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, the next best thing for you to ultimately do is to understand when it's a good idea for you to cut people off, right? Stop talking to them. Or when it's a good idea to continue to talk to them, but just take it easy. You know what I mean? And what I mean when I say take it easy is, don't do a lot of the Cancer crab stuff that you do. You know what I mean? Take everything personally, or take a lot of things personally. Read too deeply into what it is that they're saying or doing. Just understand that ultimately people will show you in time what's going on, okay? And that there's no need for you to really kind of get ahead of yourself, okay? Now also too, because this reading is more about self-love than anything else, because a lot of times when you start talking about love, people only on one level, where it's just about what people think is giving love, or more so specifically receiving love from somebody else, because they're trying to guilt trip the other person into being into a relationship with them. It's like, look, aren't you happy with all the good stuff that I'm providing to you? Why won't you treat me back with the same kind of courtesy and respect? And it's like, if someone doesn't treat you with the courtesy and respect, and you're supposed to be in a relationship with them, it does not mean that you have to stay with them. You can leave, But then you Cancer crabs have the Seven of Cups. Again, you have plenty of options. A lot of you Cancer crabs have plenty of people that you can probably call up, Or you even if you don't necessarily have these people, you can still get to know other people, still approach, still do what's going on, still hang out, still get to know other people. So you still have infinite possibilities. And then you have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands and the Hangman now represents, you know, them coming to you, or I should say, these options coming to you or whatnot. But yes, some of them are going to try to come on a little bit too heavy. But again, it's up to you, Cancer Crabs, to understand, okay, who's codependent, what type of relationship you want, who are these people? Because for me, I don't like it when a person is too stuffy. I don't like it when a person is they want me to text them every day. They want me to call them every day. That's a serious problem for me, because it shows codependency issues. It shows dependency issues. Like, why? Like you are a separate being, and I want you to breathe. I want you to relax. I want you to reclaim your own identity. I want you to keep your own identity. I want you to be able to do your own thing, enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody needs me time. You know, whether you're in the shower you're by yourself, whether all of that stuff is me time. This whole idea that, you need to be stuck up underneath somebody your whole life or the rest of your life, and the two of you never separate. You in the shower and the person in the shower with you. I mean, that's cool. You know what I mean? To a certain extent, you know what I mean? In certain instances, if you know what I mean. But I mean, come on, yo. Like, every element. You go to the store, hear the person at the store. You go to Foot Locker to get a pair of sneakers or whatever, but you want to go to the physical store, right, to check out, for the ambiance and to check out and to buy something right then and there or whatnot. You get it immediately. Here, the person got to come with you. You go to Pizza Hut just to pick up a pizza or whatnot. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Here, the person come, and it's like, yo, I don't have like. And this creates a source of agitation now, because everybody, I ain't gonna say everybody, but a lot of people want to keep their independence. Everybody wants to keep their identity while at the same time being in a relationship. It's not that they are not teammates, but they don't need to talk to their significant other every single day, and they could be trusted. But see, the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Swords represents, well, see, this is the situation now, my dear Cancer Crabs, because you know why? It's a situation because now you got to go looking for that. You have to do some more approaching. You know why? Because most people are actually dependent and codependent. That's the relationship style. Most people are actually dependent and codependent, because most people tend to have this mentality of, we should live together before we get married. And there's so much studies that are done that shows and proves that one should not be getting married. One should not be getting married, yes, if you lived with each other first. It actually creates and builds agitation in the relationship. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be something that works for everybody. Do what it is that works for you. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say here is that for the most part, it creates agitation, because you want to do what you want to do. Not saying that you're going to cheat. That's not what I'm talking about. You want to be able to exude your own individuality. So does this other person. And see, what most people consider dependent or codependent relationships is what most people will consider healthy relationships. And it's like, that's not necessarily true, though. I mean, it's healthy in the context of what they consider to be healthy, but it's not healthy. You should be able to go certain places without having your significant other. If your significant other needs to go with you literally everywhere you go, the bathroom, the store, there's something within you and the significant other where the two of you can't seem to separate from each other, but it's an abnormal mentality and behavior, because what were you doing prior to you meeting each other? So, but then when you have the Knight of Cups and the Ace of Swords, if you're looking for this type of functionality, this type of way of functioning in a relationship, Cancer Crabs, two things needs to happen. Two main things needs to happen. Number one, you need to actually go looking for that, because most people are dependent and codependent, and they think that they're bosses. But then at the same time, how many people get offended when the two of y'all have a nightcap and the person doesn't call you the next morning? They call you the day afterwards, but they don't call you the morning after. A lot of people gonna have a problem with that. How many people, right? How many people, for instance, how many people, for instance, are in a position where, how many people, for instance, are in a position to actually say that they can do that? And another thing that a lot of you Cancer Crabs are going to have to do is don't take things so personally. Because remember, when this is the type of relationship that a lot of y'all want. Now, again, at the end of the day, you Cancer Crabs can engage in whatever it is that you want. I'm not here to try to tell y'all what to do. I'm just here to show you the potential possibilities and what those possibilities will lead up to if you choose this route. And if something is coming down the pipe, the timeline, how you can circumvent it and be prepared, right? So one of the things that you Cancer Crabs got to do is don't take things so personally. And I'll tell you why. Because when you're engaging in this type of interaction or this type of relationship with somebody where you and them are interdependent, where the two of you can exist with each other and exist without each other, it'll be difficult because the bond that y'all have, but you can essentially exist without each other. You got to take into consideration that you can't take things so personally, because your ego is going to be tested, because this person is doing their own thing. And you have to respect the fact that the two of you have your own differences and your similarities. So when you're out here doing that, you can't just get so bent out of shape and be upset with them. You understand what I'm saying? Just like they're going to have to be okay with the fact that there's things that you'll do that they don't have necessarily, they wish that, sometimes you can be with them the whole time or spend time with them. But then these are just some differences that you may want to do, right? That fulfills you. So let's clarify some of these cards. This is why it is that I say that a lot of you need space, because just if you living in a house and taking a few hours space, to be honest with you, it really depends on how fast your mind can really snap back. Because some people can only need a few hours. Some people, can only, may need a day or two. You know what I mean? Just a whole 24 hours to detox from that type of. And I'm not saying it like it's a problem. I'm saying to just kind of understand where the boundary lines are. Like, okay, this is it. But I don't want to mend personalities and likes so much to the point where it's almost like I'm the same person as this person, but in a different body. So let's clarify the Nine of Cups, shall we? If that makes sense. So this is more so a reading about self-love and kind of some of the things that you Cancer Crabs need to do to prepare yourselves so that when you come out here and you interact with others, it's not smothering, because I'm not even gonna lie. Cancer Crabs is the zodiac sign. Cancer, Crabs, and Taurus are the zodiac signs of smothering. So just letting y'all know. Just I don't know if y'all knew that. But to clarify the Knight of Cups, we have the Knight of Wands, the Moon, Seven of Wands, and the Four of Wands, right? So the Knight of Wands and the Moon represents the person. Yes, the person is gonna have to make themselves scarce. And when I say scarce, I'm not saying you never see them. I mean, like, the person is gonna have to essentially make themselves I guess you can say balance, right? I'm looking for another word, but you can say balance, where, you know, they hang out with you, right, for the day, and then some days they don't hang out with you, then they don't talk to you, then some days they hang out with you again, and you get that healthy mixture of the two, right? Then the Seven of Wands and the Four of Wands now represents, right, as a result, how this is the situation where but you're gonna have to find hard. You're gonna have to actually look hard to find that, because most people, like I said, they're codependent, independent. So when you out here trying to, when you out here trying to handle your business and do your thing, the last thing that you want to do is have somebody texting you all day, but you gotta text them back and all this other stuff. Or you gotta wait until you come back home. And it's throwing you off because you legitimately are busy. You're not cheating on your significant other. You're not doing anything foul. You're not doing any of that type of stuff. You literally just over here trying to handle your business. And this person is texting the world out of you. And you're like, oh, wow. Okay. Sometimes you want to be left alone in that sense, where it's like, listen, I'm gonna have to contact you back. I'm literally over here handling some business. I'm not cheating or doing any of that funny stuff. You're just gonna have to trust me up until then. And then we start talking about trust. A lot of people don't like to trust either. So then that puts even more of a stress emphasis on it. Because now, or I should say an emphasis on it, because now it's like, oh, that's the thing. I don't trust you. So I'm gonna continue to call and call and call and call. Then it becomes a dub after that. But that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. Trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 10,000 subscribers, coming up on 7,000. I just want to say I really appreciate y'all. Please keep smashing the like button, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and set that notification bell to all, so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.